All right. Well, it is 4:45, so I am going to say that we will go ahead and get started. I just want to welcome you all to the Bryan Undergraduate Student Services portion of the Freshman Forum event today. Thank you all so much for all of you who've decided to attend and are willing to attend this part of the session. My name is Maggie Breitenbach, and I am one of the academic advisors here in the office. And I've got two colleagues with me. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. I'm just gonna kind of give you an overview of what you can expect from this part of today, and then we'll dive right in.
I'll go ahead and go first and introduce myself. Hi, everyone. I'm Gail Pack, and I'm the director for the Bryan Undergraduate Student Services Office. And just want to say thank you for coming, and hopefully you'll find this as engaging as we do.
Hello, everyone. I am Kristen Glazer, and I am a master's student, and I am a GA graduate assistant for the advising department for the Bryan School, and hopefully you will learn something new. So yeah, enjoy.
All right, thank you guys so much. So before we really dive in, and I want to make sure that my PowerPoint is working, we have in attendance a Google form. We just want to get a sense of who's attended this particular part of the session today. Part of the reason we're taking this information is because we're going to send you a follow-up email with some really good information. There are so many things that I would love to be able to show you the exact step-by-step how to do it all, but that would take a little more time than we have. So we want to send you a follow-up email with very specific instructions of how to do essentially all the things that we're going to talk about today. So if you have not already filled out this Google form, which should be in the chat box, please make sure to go ahead and do so. We really, really appreciate that you all do that. Okay, so I am betting that a lot of you are, I know that you all are first semester students, probably have been enrolled in either FYE 101 or Business 115. We really appreciate you attending this event and again, continuing to get a good look at our team and what it is that we do. So I want to introduce my team to you all here. This is a photo we took this summer, socially distanced outside. We did our best. But we are the Bryan Undergraduate Student Services Office here on UNCG's campus. And what that means is we are here to advise undergraduate business school students. We are located in Bryan 137. Right now, our doors are not physically open, but our phone number is right there on the door. If you need assistance, know that we are here. The only reason our doors are not currently open is because of COVID. But when we do open our doors, if you're looking for where we are, if you are walking across campus from the EUC heading straight for the Bryan building, instead of walking up the ramp on that second floor, if you go down below and walk in the doors, we are that very first office to the right. You can't miss us if you head that way. But I wanted to provide our contact information, again, where we're located. You can also email the Bryan School email if you have questions at any time. This is another email contact that you can utilize. And again, you're welcome to give our office a call as well. This PowerPoint is going to be shared with you all after today. I wanted to provide all of our names and email addresses. So when you find your academic advisor, and we'll walk through how to do that, you'll be able to refer back to this PowerPoint and find our contact info. So that way, if you do have questions, you know exactly who to email. One thing I do want to point out as I'm going through, if you all do have any questions as we're going through this presentation, please know that you're welcome to ask questions in the chat. And towards the end, we may be able to open it up a little bit more for questions as well. So these are some of us. These are what I would say are academic advisors in the office. We also have a couple of advisors that are also in different roles. So Gail Pack, our director, she just introduced herself. We also have a director of online operations. His name is Adam Landreth. He works remotely You may interact with him if you are giving our office a call for our walk-in advising or maybe on-call advising, but for the most part, you probably won't run into him or have much contact unless you all change your major to an online degree. And then we also have Kristen, our graduate assistant, who assists our minor and second major students. So if you're not sure at this point who your academic advisor is, there are quite a few ways that you can look up this information. The easiest way that I would say would be to look it up in UNC Genie. If you log in with your student ID and PIN number, you can select the student tab at the top of the screen, select registration, look up advisor, and view advisor. You can also find your academic advisor in your DegreeWorks evaluation. I'll talk a little bit about DegreeWorks in just a couple of minutes, but if you've played around with DegreeWorks at this point, you've kind of already dived in trying to take a look at it, you'll notice that your academic advisor is listed there as well. So I want to go over just again some facts about who we are, the way that we operate. Our office has 9 professional advisors. I like to explain what that means because not all advising offices across campus operate in the same way. Some advising offices have faculty advisors. Faculty advisors are faculty members who are teaching your classes, and that's their primary role and responsibility, but they also have a caseload of students who they also advise. Here in the business school, professional advisors, we are here 100% to advise you. That is what our role is, to here support you and help you kind of navigate this time during UNCG and make the most out of your time here. The business school this semester has about 3,900 undergraduate students. And so that means that each advisor works with about 400 to 500 students a semester, give or take a few for some advisors, but it ends up being about 400 to 500 students a semester. And so part of the reason why we're making so much contact with you here, we want you to attend these events, is so that you have a good understanding of, you know, when we reach out to you and say, hey, it's time to meet with your advisor, it's really important that you do that. We're working to meet with all of you during what we call our peak advising and registration season. And so that means you're essentially competing with hundreds of other students to get on our calendars. Now, we email you all very strategically, so that way you schedule with us at the right time. But again, I just think it's good for you all to have that understanding. All of our meetings are one-on-one. We do not typically do any kind of group advising. In the past, it's been something we've explored at various times, but typically, unless you hear otherwise, we are only doing one-on-one advising appointments. So you're meeting one-on-one with your advisor. And all of our appointments are scheduled through Starfish. By the end of today, you'll have instructions for how to schedule an appointment with your advisor in Starfish. If you call the office to schedule an appointment, we physically can't do that just because of the way that Starfish works. So if you want to schedule an appointment with your advisor, make sure you're following those instructions in Starfish. And if you're really not sure how to do it, you can also give our office a call and ask, or email your advisor for those instructions as well. So typically our appointments have been in person or over the phone. Since COVID, we now have virtual appointments, whether it's via Zoom or Google Hangout. Depending on who your advisor is, you may see Zoom or Google Hangout options, or by the phone. I imagine moving forward, once we are kind of out of COVID times, we will probably have all those options available for you all. And keep in mind that our office is open year round. So even if you're not here in the summer, we are still here and we are still plugging away, working as hard as we can to keep things rolling for you all. So if you have plans for study abroad, you want to map out a graduation plan, questions over the summer, know that we are still here and you are welcome to ask those questions at any point during the year. We will be here to support you. So at the end of the day, what are we here for? Most students know that we are the people here to help them pick out their classes. And that is true. That is a good chunk of what it is that we do for you all. We can help you navigate your programs and give you an idea of what classes you need in the upcoming semester, essentially to stay on track. Now, as a student, much of this is also your responsibility. So when I say on track, I want you to have the understanding that what is on track to me may be different than what it is to you. So it's up to you to communicate with us if you're wanting to graduate in 3 years rather than 4, or if you're wanting to take things a little bit slower. You know, those are conversations that we want you to have with us, so that way we're making sure that you are meeting your goals. We also help with major and minor exploration. If you are not sure if the major that you're in is the best fit for you, or maybe there's a minor out there that you're really interested in, we want to have those conversations with you. We are not necessarily the expert on all programs that are outside of the business school, but we can definitely get you on the right track, get you in contact with who the right person to talk to may be if it is outside the business school. Now, if it's in the business school, we are your go-to. We can help you figure out how to make it work. We also help students with graduation planning. Some of our programs are a little more strategic in how you approach them than others. Some of our programs have fall only and spring only classes. Some of those classes are prerequisites to others. So planning early and kind of knowing when it is that you want to graduate, we can take everything that you've got left and map it out semester by semester, so you know exactly what you need to take each semester to stay on track. So if you're not sure if you're in one of those programs that's very specific, it's a good idea to have that conversation with your advisor early. Study abroad planning is something we also help with. And I just want to point out that I think study abroad is a fantastic opportunity. And for me personally, as a student, I never felt like it was an opportunity that was feasible for me. I was always interested in it, but I just wasn't sure it was feasible. And I will say, if study abroad interests you even the slightest bit, but you shy away from it because you're not sure whether it's possible financially or whether it will fit into your program, talk to us early, because UNCG has a lot of ways to make it really affordable, and all of our programs, we can fit it in as long as we plan early. So again, there's scholarship opportunities out there when it comes to study abroad. So again, if this is something that interests you, even the slightest, please talk to us about it. We also help with internship and career questions. If you guys are, I know every single one in this room, this Zoom room is going to get an internship at some point. So if you are in a place where you're not sure where to start, or maybe you have an internship that you really want and you're looking for tips of how to get it, what are the things that you need to be doing? Those are all things that we can help with. Career questions as well. Maybe you've picked a major that you really like, but you're not really sure what you want to do with it, or vice versa. Maybe you know exactly what it is that you want to do, but you're not sure if your major is the best fit. We want to have those conversations with you. And then last but not least, I always like to point out that we're here for assistance with personal and/or academic matters. Every single one of us in our office knows that life doesn't stop just because you are in school. You have roles and responsibilities outside of being a student. And sometimes life can get challenging, and sometimes things can get in the way. If you're ever in a place where you're feeling greatly impacted, whether it's personally or with your schoolwork, and you're just not really sure where to go or who to talk to, come talk to us first. We may not necessarily have all the answers for you. We may not necessarily be able to fix everything for you, but we can certainly come up with a game plan, get you started on the right track, kind of help navigate a challenging time with you. So please keep that in mind as you work with us. And again, we work with 500 of you. So if there's something that you're going through and you need help, please reach out to us. We won't know unless you do reach out to us. So that's what we do for you guys. And what do we expect from you in return? We want you to plan ahead and actively participate in the process. I can't say enough. You know, all of us advisors, we already have our degrees. You know, we've done it. We want you to do this for you. Know your degree requirements. Have a good understanding of what your program requires from you. So that way, when you come and meet with us, you can come to the advising appointments prepared with ideas of what classes you want to take the upcoming semester and coming with goals and questions. If you're prepared and have an idea of what classes you want to take and what you need to do to stay on track, we can spend a significant amount more of time going over what we can do to help you meet your goals, whether it's inside the classroom, outside the classroom. There is so much more to being a Spartan, being a student here at UNCG than just showing up to the classes and passing. There are so many opportunities for engagement and leadership and personal and professional development on this campus. We want to help you access those things. And if you come to your appointments prepared with what classes you want to take, what questions you have, we can help you achieve those things. We also expect you all to follow through with referrals. A little bit different from high school, you know, we might make a recommendation to you at some point of, hey, here's a resource that we think would be a good idea for you. We'll typically give you the contact information or a link to their website or a number to call, but at the end of the day, we're expecting that you are going to make this decision for yourself and follow through. So for example, if someone says to me, you know, Math 118 is really difficult, I'm really struggling this semester and I'm just not sure what to do, I will say, hey, had you thought about visiting the Math Help Center? Here is what the Math Help Center does. Here's where they're located. I'm going to send you a link to their website so you can see that they're ours. And then I'm going to expect that you will follow through. On some very, very rare occasions, we may make a connection for you across campus if there's something very specific. But again, we're not going to have those conversations for you. We're going to expect you to follow up. So I mentioned a little bit earlier, I used the word peak advising. And again, that is when we 9 advisors are working to meet with all 3,900 of you to get you registered for the upcoming semester. And so, and this is the same for each semester. You can expect this pattern to continue through your time here as a student in the business school. During the fall semester, our peak advising season runs mid-September, almost through the end of November. And registration typically opens late October for seniors and then continues opening through early November. In the spring, we start our peak advising mid-February and usually run almost to the end of April, and registration windows start opening for, again, it starts with seniors and then late March through early April. So this is when you can expect each semester that we're going to contact you and say, hey, have you met with your academic advisor? Now is a good time. So that way you can register for classes when your window opens. The benefits of registering for your classes when your window opens is that you are not fighting for seats that are already filled when you register for your classes when your window opens. Now, I can't make that a guarantee. Sometimes some classes are really popular, but in most cases, you can at least get yourself a full schedule comfortably. In addition, there is a late fee at UNCG that if you don't register for your classes, and I think it's typically about 2 weeks, give or take from when your registration window opens, you can get assigned a late fee. If you're not sure what day that is, make sure to talk to your academic advisor about it. We can give you what that date is. But please, even for the sake of just having an easier time getting your schedule situated, register when your window opens. And typically it's at midnight. If you're someone who has an early bedtime, set an alarm, wake up for it. I think it makes a huge difference when it comes to registration. So how will you know every semester when it's time? First off, our advising office, the Bryan Undergraduate Student Services Office, is going to send you an email that says, hey, it is peak advising. Now is the time to schedule a meeting with your advisor. That will cue you to schedule a meeting with your advisor. When you get that email, we recommend doing it right then. And make sure you're setting yourself some kind of calendar reminder so that you don't miss the appointment. If you do miss the appointment, you may not be able to get back in to see us another couple of weeks. So then you'll schedule your appointment, meet with us. We will cover what classes we should register for the next semester, what things you need to do to stay on track, what grades you need to be making in your particular classes, and you'll have everything that you need to register. Then the registrar's office will typically send out an email to everyone in the university saying registration windows are getting ready to open, and they'll provide instructions for how you can check when your registration window opens. If you email your advisor or ask us, when is my registration window going to open? We won't be able to give you that exact day and time. We don't have that information. But you can check in your UNC Genie account after the registrar's office has sent out this email. Typically, this email comes after fall break, which is October 11th and 12th. It's coming up. So you can probably expect to see that email around that time. Then once your registration window opens, you can register yourself for those classes. Now, appointment scheduling, I would love to be able to show you the ins and outs of exactly how to schedule an appointment with us in Starfish. But what my Starfish looks like is very different from yours. But after this freshman forum today, like I said, we're going to send you an email with instructions for how to do it. We're going to have written instructions. We're also going to have a link to a series of videos, which also shows you step-by-step how to do it. But you can access Starfish by going to starfish.uncg.edu, or when you log into your Canvas account, you can select Starfish as well. And then again, we want you guys to come prepared to your appointments with us. Here I've got a snapshot of a DegreeWorks evaluation, as well as a snapshot of the university catalog. These are both resources that you will want to utilize every semester, and particularly before meeting with your academic advisor. So in this case, if I were curious to see if I could take Accounting 201, I would click on courses in the university catalog and select the accounting classes, and it will tell me all of the accounting course prerequisites. When I pull up that page, it will tell me that Accounting 201 requires Math 115 or higher and ISM 110. And because I'm currently in ISM 110 here, and I've completed my math, that tells me that I would be eligible to take Accounting 201. And again, this is the process that we want you guys to get comfortable with. Seeing what's on your DegreeWorks evaluation and using the university catalog as a resource to help determine if those are classes you're eligible to take. I do want to, let me pull up the course search really quickly just to show you a couple quick tips about how to use the course search. And let's hope. So for those of you who have played around with AddDrop before, maybe you made some schedule adjustments this semester, there is a place in UNC Genie that says look up classes to add. We do not recommend that you look up classes this way or register for classes this way because the information is just not quite as accurate. Our online classes will say something like TBA, which can be really confusing because you can't determine the difference between the online classes and the ones that are actually waiting for a room and time to be assigned. So rather than do that, I'm going to recommend using the Genie bottle, and we will click on class schedule. And this will take us to the class schedule search. Now for spring 2022, the course search is not quite complete, but we will use this as an example. There are some tools here in the search that I really want you guys to get comfortable with. We know that when we're searching for a particular subject like accounting, we can look in the accounting search box, type in 201. If I hit search, it will pull up all of the Accounting 201 sections. Now, if you're looking for those Minerva's academic curriculum classes, instead of searching by subject, I'm going to use this general education attributes search and find, let's say, MAC Health and Wellness. If I go here and hit submit, this will pull up all of the MAC Health and Wellness classes. I want you guys to know this advanced search button is really, really handy, where you can search for, maybe I'm looking for only an online class. You can select online for the campus. Maybe online classes aren't your thing and you just want a Greensboro, Maine campus class, something that is going to be physically on campus. You can search that way as well. You can search by the part of term. We have second half semester, first half semester classes. Always pay attention to course dates because we do have mini semesters. You can search by a specific day, but my favorite feature is open sections only. If I select open sections only, the course search is only going to pull up classes that have not been filled. That's going to be really helpful. So just to give you guys an example, when you are searching for these classes, now these are classes meeting the MAC Health and Wellness requirement. You can see here the difference between campus. Always check the campus. We see here that the online classes don't have designated meeting days and times, but sometimes they do. Those are our synchronous online classes, so you always want to be thorough and check both. And like I said, you always want to pay attention to the meeting dates, because here we see that this class runs December through January. If I did not look at the start date and end date, I might have registered for that class assuming that it was going to start in January. So again, when you search for classes, make sure you're paying close attention to the details on every single class that you register for. All right. Again, we recommend that you come to your appointment prepared with questions. If you want to change your major, if you are thinking about studying abroad, or maybe you want to take summer or winter classes, these are things that we as advisors are not going to assume that you want. So if it's something that you're interested in, please make sure that you're communicating to us about that. One other thing I want to point out is make sure you are on time for your appointments. When we have in-person appointments, we always want students at least 5 minutes early. Make sure that if you are setting a phone or a Google Hangout or Zoom appointment, you put that in your calendar and you are logged into your iSpartan email, you are logged onto your DegreeWorks and prepared for the advising appointment. Chances are, if you're driving in the car or in the middle of, we may not be able to have that conversation with you. So make sure that you are ready, prepared. You've carved out the time for this appointment so that way we can have the conversation with you. And if for some reason it's beyond 5 minutes, if your appointment was with me at 4 p.m. and 4:05 rolls around and I still don't see you in my Zoom room and I've tried calling you a couple of times, at 4:05, we're going to cancel the appointment and recommend that you reschedule. So make sure that you are on time and prepared for your appointments. All right, with just a couple minutes to spare, do we have any questions? I couldn't see the chat.
Hey, Maggie, just want to remind everybody, the university's getting ready to roll out something called Schedule Hero. I think you might have heard about it a little bit a while ago when you were in the first session, everyone. Just be on the lookout for any sort of communication that the university has about that. It's a new way of actually searching for courses, setting up parameters that it's going to remember if you want online courses, or you can schedule in breaks. It actually, if your registration window is open, you can approve a schedule and you can actually register for your courses that way. So FYE was just asking us to remind folks about Schedule Hero. And I think they're getting ready to send some emails out within the next week or 2 weeks to students. So just putting it out there, everybody.
Thank you so much, Gail. One other thing that I will just kind of throw out there to all of you, make sure that you are checking your spam folder. Some of our emails have gone to spam. We are not sure why. We're looking into it. But I would just encourage all of you to double check your spam folder to see if you are missing any communications from either your academic advisor or the Bryan Undergraduate Student Services Office. We send out lots of newsletters with important dates, information, scholarship info, tutoring info, basically anything that you need to know, we're going to communicate that to you. So if you're not getting emails from us, please check your spam folder to make sure that those are not in there. All right. Let me see. I am not seeing any additional questions here in the chat, and it is 5:15. I just want to thank you all so much again for your time and attention. Any questions you may have left over, again, we're going to send out a follow-up email with lots of information. And any questions you have left over, please feel free to have that conversation with your advisor.
So there was a question about Zoom, Google Hangout. Google Hangout is actually within iSpartan. So if you set up your appointment and you select Google Hangout, your advisor will initiate that for you. If it's Zoom, like I have a lot of my appointments scheduled through Zoom, and I've got it set up to where it will give you the Zoom room information. And sometimes advisors will send out the link saying, hey, below, here's your information. So just be careful which one you select. And if you got questions, just, shoot your advisor an email, call the office. But usually Google Hangout will be initiated by your advisor.
All right. Well, thank you all. We really appreciate your attendance today. If you have any questions, just reach out to us and let us know.